Good morning, my name is Abdasis Ahmoursami. I would like to present my part, which is introduction and conclusion our project. So firstly, I want to share introduction of a pavement. So as we know, a pavement is the path is a hard surface of road that people use to walk or drive. A pavement must be durable to afford any pavement distress that can harm the road user. The common types of pavement distress that occur is cracking, rotting, distortion, or other sorts of surface strain in quality, which indicates a strain within the pavement surface condition or structural load carrying capacity. In this project, we are required to conduct an analysis to assess the condition of pavement and to see if the structural improvement is required to support the projected future traffic.
Hi, my name is Zarata binti Jamil. I will continue part literature review. A lot of studies that are associated with pavement performance survey using condition because the indicators, the Pavement Condition Index PCI has been developed by the US Army Corps of Engineers 1918. A. Functional failure. During this failure, the pavement doesn't function and cause discomfort to passengers or high stress to a vehicle. B. The others is thought as structural failure of pavement structure or the breakdown of one or more sections of the pavement that may result in a poor performance of pavement. Causes of pavement deterioration and degradation, which is loading, seepage, improper or poor paved surface drainage, lack of proper road maintenance, lack of proper design, adverse atmospheric condition, and few other factors. That's all from me. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. My name is Indrajit, son of Nagindran. My metric number is CF 2032. Now I'm going to continue presenting about the PCI rating scale. So, Pavement Condition Index, which is PCI, is a method used as a pavement rating method, which is we use to inspect the pavement distress. So, by doing that, you also can determine the condition of the road by range from 0 to 100. So, by referring the PCI scale, we also can know that the high level is the best condition of the road, the moderate level is the need to do the regular monitoring, while the low level is the worst condition of the road, so need to do the maintenance. So we use this method to identify the condition of the distress type for our case study. Okay, now I'm continuing with the type of pavement distress. Okay, the first picture shows that alligator cracking, which also known as a fatigue cracking, is a serious interconnecting cracks that caused by a fatigue failure of the asphalt surface due to the traffic loading. Okay, so the second picture shows that edge cracking. So edge cracks are a crescent shape or fairly continuous crack. So this kind of crack occurs when the paved shoulder do not exist. Okay, the next one is the longitudinal cracking. So from this, we know that longitudinal cracks that are parallel to the pavement center line or lay down direction. So this cracks occur when there is a poor joint of construction. So from the picture, we also know that the crack is continuously long in straight line of the pavement. The next one is a slippage cracking. So slippage cracking is in a crescent shape cracks or half moon in shape. So these cracks are generally at two endpoints into the direction of traffic. So these cracks occurs due to the low strength surface mix or poor bonding. The next one is the block cracking. So the block cracks are interconnected with the cracks forming of in a series block shape, which is divided in the pavement into approximately in rectangular pieces. So the block cracking normally occurs over a large portion of the pavement area, but sometimes it will occur in non-traffic areas. The last distance is the potholes. So pothole is a bowl-shaped cavity in the pavement surface. This happens because of the loss of wearing cost, surface cost, and also the minor cost method. because this may happen because of the result of water is underlaying the soil structure, and the traffic passing over the traffic passing affect the area of the moisture content and make the base course crack.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat sejahtera. Nama saya Muhammad Aziz Muhammad bin Zainuddin dan hari ini saya akan bentangkan mengenai data analisis bagi kumpulan 8. Okay, so here we can see the table for our group. This is a summarized one from our calculation for each part. So the first column is number of sample. This is for each of our sample that we choose. We got 7 sample, and the next column, column number 2, this is number of part that we choose from our road. We divide the road 1 km by 2 for section 1 and section 2, and this is part that we take from section 2. Okay, the third column is for the type of distress. We got 5 type of distress overall, and each of the part that we choose have different distress. The type of distress that we got, 5 of them is longitude and transverse cracking, patching and utility cut patching, block cracking, bleeding, and the final one is alligator cracking. Okay, the fourth column is PCI for each our calculation for each part. So for example, the number 1 column we got PCI 50 and PCI 50. This is for sample 1, and the rating, the final column is in poor condition. And when we combine all the PCI, we got average PCI for this road is in poor condition. I think that's all from me. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you Muhammad Aziz. My name is Azharuddin bin Masa'ad. Now it's my turn to present about the maintenance or rehabilitation method. Okay, first of all, in my presentation, I will briefly explain first about the type of the pavement distress, and then I will also explain about the method of treatment to improve the pavement condition index PCI. Okay, now as we can see at the slide show they have the 5 of the pavement distress that we had found in our inspected road, which is in the Jalan Bukit Putus Negeri 9. Okay, for the first distress is the alligator cracking, the second distress is bleeding, the third is block cracking, next is the longitudinal and the transverse cracking, and then the last one is patching. Okay, for your information, all the criteria or the characteristic for the each distress we determine or we recognize using the Google Maps image and by referring to the JKR standard guideline. Okay, now we go to the next slide. As I mentioned earlier in the previous slide, they have 5 types of the pavement distress that occur in our inspected road, which is in Jalan Bukit Putus. Now I will explain about the criteria or the characteristic for the each pavement distress. Okay, for the first one is alligator cracking. The alligator cracking is severe cracking, is slightly spell cracks form the characteristic of the alligator pattern, and then the very severe cracks is severely spell cracks has the characteristic of the alligator pattern. And the second is the bleeding, and the bleeding occur when asphalt binder fills the aggregate voids during hot weather or traffic compaction and then expand onto the pavement surface. For the block cracking, the caused by an inability of asphalt binder to expand and contract with temperature cycle because of poor choice of the asphalt binder in mixed design and aging of the asphalt tender. And then the patching mainly involving filling potholes and excavated areas in the asphalt pavement, an area of the pavement that has been replaced with new material to repair the existing pavement. And the last one is the longitudinal and the transverse cracking. The form parallel to the pavement center line and transverse crack is, as its name suggests, is a crack that stands along the cross section of a material or object, usually perpendicular to its center line. Okay, next I will explain about the method of treatment. As we know, they have 2 types of method for the treatment or rehabilitation of the existing pavement that widely been used in our road construction industrial, especially in Malaysia. Okay, first method is the conventional method, which is consists of the surface treatment, mill and pave, overlay, and for the structural defect we will use the reconstruction pavement. And then for the second method is the recycling. They have three types of method in the recycling. First, hot in place recycling that will be used for the functional defects, and then for the structural defect we will use two method. One is cool in place recycling, and then cool in plant recycling. Okay, now we look at the slide. They have a different types of method will be used for the different types of distress. Okay, now we go for the first method, hot in place recycling, HIPR, will be used for the alligator cracking. Okay, HIPR is consists of reclaimed asphalt mixture, virgin asphalt, new aggregates, and the regenerated additive that on average account for the 3% of the overall content and allow softening of edge asphalt. Okay, for the second method is surface treatment. Surface treatment will be used to treat the bleeding distress. The surface treatment, also known as a seal coat or chip seal, is a thin protective wearing surface that is applied to the pavement or base course. And then for the third method is the full reconstruction. Full reconstruction will be used for the block cracking. Okay, full reconstruction is needed when the substrate layer as well as the pavement layers have deteriorated beyond repair. The rebuilding will include the subgrade. And now we go for the fourth method is overlay. Overlay will be used to treat the longitudinal or transverse cracking. Okay, the overlay is a method to cover the crack with applying a new layer of asphalt to deteriorating surface. And then for the last method is patching. Patch are themselves a repair action, and the only way they can be removed from the pavement surface is either by structural or non-structural overlay. Okay, now for your information, for our information, these 5 types of the method treatment we choose are based on the condition of the road pavement, and then we also considering for the project cost saving. I think that's all from my part, and then for the next explanation, for the next presentation, I will pass to my group members, Abdul Aziz. Okay, thank you very much for your attention.
As a conclusion, pavement condition index master curve was mathematically modeled using non-linear optimization techniques to arrive at a sigmoidal function with parameters determined for each group of road sections of common characteristics. In our project, we have a 1 kilometer road distance, and we divide it in 7 sections based on our data. So we found 5 sections were a poor condition and 2 sections was very poor. The construction of the highway is a road structure that largely contributed to human comfort, where it is frequently used by all users.